Hey, honey,
Yeah.
you know what time it is?
Testimony time.
You got it. It's testimony time.
It is testimony time. We just got the most spectacular testimonies from Bangladesh.
And it was actually an answer to our query and question that we had. We were,
Hmm.
we were feeling a little bit of doubt. The enemy of our mind is doubt.
Hmm.
So we got an answer to the doubt that we were having, that we were creating.
Hmm. I just think that's spectacular because we have been working with Bangladesh for what, 9 months now?
Yes. Uh-huh.
And I met them a little before that, so less than a year.
Hmm.
And they have grown leaps and bounds
It's
by the things
amazing.
that we have told them.
Hmm.
And simple things, very simple one, two, threes, like we are used to doing,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
And today they taught us a lesson.
Yes, they did.
I think that is absolutely spectacular.
Yes, but we are to edify the body, right?
Exactly. That is the whole point of everything that we are doing is to edify the body.
Hmm.
Is we are the physical bodies, the palaces of Yeshua himself.
That's right.
And we want to edify each other because we're trying to all grow up into the perfection of Yeshua because we don't have enough truth to get there on our own.
We don't. We don't. We're doing our best and they're doing their best and we learn together.
And doubt is definitely the enemy of your
It
mind.
is totally the enemy.
And so I'm going to give you a real short summary on this story, and then we're going to play the audio clip from our partner in Bangladesh of this story because it is just so good to me. And he said that he was in this car with these pastors and his wife and his son and the driver of this car is a Muslim man who does not believe in the name of Yeshua. But he drives them around and he takes them different places so he knows that they're all pastors. And they're driving around, and all of a sudden, the engine on the car starts to have problems. They pull over, and he's like, "Dude, it's done. It's the engine's finished. It's not going anywhere." The pastors all decide, okay, well, we got to find a mechanic, and we got to do this, and we got to do that, and they're all thinking in the carnal, right?
Hmm.
And this Muslim driver says, "Well, why don't y'all pray for it?"
The only smart one of the bunch.
The unbeliever
Yes.
says, "Why don't you pastors pray for the car to work? And it would work if you would pray for it." And they all go to talking about how, well, it's a machine. Yahweh can't take care of a machine. Yeshua can't take care of a machine. We need a mechanic to take care of a machine.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
And so they all go off to go find a mechanic and to talk on their phones and come up with this solution from the carnal perspective, right? And our partner's wife, she stays behind with the mechanic.
She
So
must have been watching our videos on CNC on how we fixed our CNC and some other things.
she's watching our videos on how the mechanics can work too,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
But she stays behind with the Muslim driver, right?
Hmm.
So now you got a Muslim man and a woman, an
Hmm.
unbeliever and a woman, you know? The two people that people all over the world, pastors and teachers all over the world, even in Yeshua's time, claimed couldn't do anything.
Yeah, that's funny.
The unbeliever and the woman, they can't do anything.
Hmm.
But they're the two who stay behind with the vehicle and they open the hood and they go to praying. And they say, "Sorry, Yeshua, for our unbelief. Sorry for our doubt. And we just ask your forgiveness for the doubt and please start our car." And lo and behold, it starts up.
Yep. That's right up.
The vehicle starts right up. But the best part to me of this story, I from a carnal perspective, from the woman's perspective, the best part of the story was when the woman and the driver got in the car and drove away. With the pastors behind. Go too far. They waited. They called him and told him where they were at so they could catch up, but they had to walk to get because they didn't believe that the car would get started.
That is hilarious.
And then they took it to a mechanic, and the mechanic said, "What do you want me to do? There's nothing wrong with the car."
Yep.
Ugh. It is spectacular to see how Yahweh uses all these different situations to teach us something. Is when you think you got to do something on your own, you just took yourself out of Yahweh's ability to do these things for you.
That's right.
And doubt really is the enemy of your mind. Is when you think you got to add anything to what Yeshua did, then you have taken yourself out of Yeshua's love.
You have.
And it's not that he stops loving you. It's that you took yourself out of his love. Because his love says, I did everything for you. I love you more than you could ever imagine. And I would do anything for you. Don't you understand this? And the other day I was talking about this with Yahweh. And Yah's breath said to me, remember, men love different than women do. A father loves different than a mother. And throughout the old covenant, we see like a father's love. We see this harsh kind of love that kicks you out of the nest and says, well, you better figure out how to fly or you're going to hit the ground.
Yeah, I've been there. My dad when I blew up my engine on my truck, my dad handed me the repair manual and said, fix it. Here you go. It's all yours. You did it. You can fix it.
Good luck with that one.
Yes, good. Exactly. And he didn't really give me any advice. Every now and then he'd come out and say, well, what are you doing? And I would have a question for him. He said, well, did you read the manual?
Yep.
I read it many times.
But I didn't get it.
Yeah, I needed his advice to explain some things, but I had to read it over and over again until I got it.
And that is the perfect example of the law. Is under the old covenant with the law, you got to read it over and over and over and over again, and you'll still miss it.
Yeah, 10 things, and you got to figure them out yourself.
You got to figure it out yourself. And we know that they didn't figure it out themselves.
No, not at all. They were always going back into sin and corruption and, turning to idols. And then when Yahweh would lift his hand, they would get attacked and taken over by other tribes.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And throughout all of the Old Covenant, you see this. Mm-hmm. And then in order to try to figure out how to follow the 10 Commandments, they added 600 plus laws.
Yes.
Because they couldn't figure out how to do the 10, so they added another
600. That's amazing.
So let's add more.
10 commandments. Let's add that we can't even do. So let's add another 600 to those, because that's what humankind does, because we don't know what it is to be justified. Exactly,
because we can't justify ourselves. Mm-hmm. And so think about that. Like, the image of the old covenant is like a father's love. And I'm not saying fathers can't love. I'm saying it's a different kind of love that you see in the old covenant. And then you come into the new covenant and it's like you get mommy's love.
Yeah, the old covenant's like, do or die. That's love if you look at it in a way that, if you're following the law, and if you do, you can die. So if you don't, then you won't die. You won't be afflicted by the curse.
Right. It's very legalistic. Mm-hmm. It's very life versus death, punishment versus reward. Mm-hmm. Very childlike. Mm-hmm. We need rules and regulations when we're little, and we don't know how to grow up. But once you grow up, once you come in to maturity, then you have to stand on that truth that you've been given. Mm-hmm. Well, the new covenant takes us into a whole new arena that we don't know how to live in, because we're so used to the law. We're so used to this perspective of you're going to get your hand slapped if you do something wrong. And we don't really comprehend the love that Yeshua actually gave us. Because this is more like the mother's love. The mom will coddle you. She will do things for you when you didn't even ask. She'll fold your clothes and put them away, and even though you didn't even want her in your room. Yeah. Right? Yep. The mom will allow you to live in her house way longer than she should, and end up, just enabling your laziness. right? Because she loves you.
Yes, because her arms are open to you no matter what condition you're in.
Exactly. A mother's arms are always open. You can come home with a stub toe and she will make you a cake. She's like,
And
oh,
cocoa to go with it.
so sorry that you're suffering in this trial, and let me make you feel better. Right? Yes, and the cocoa to go with it. Or a glass of milk or whatever your favorite thing is. She will do all of it just so you know that you're loved.
Yes.
Even like no matter what it is, right? A mom would go out of her way to do anything she could to make you feel better.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And a dad loves in that way too, except it looks different, right? If a dad could give you everything you needed, he would. As your child, if he could buy you every car you needed, if he could buy you every toy you ever wanted, if he could fill your bank accounts, he would.
Yeah, but that would be enabling. And then you would get lazy. And then you wouldn't go and get out of the nest and fly for yourself.
Mom would say, well, that's okay. He'll be all right.
Yeah.
Right?
But it takes a partnership between the two to make the perfect loving relationship.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's what the new covenant does. Is the new covenant brings us into perfect joinder. Complete and perfect joinder. Us, Yahweh, Yeshua, Yah's breath, all together merged as one being. As one being. And if you try to do anything on your own without the word that they've given you, then you're taking yourself out of joinder.
Yep.
When you're saying what Yeshua did wasn't enough. And see, here's the thing. Here's the thing that we miss is a lot of times we don't realize that that's what we're saying. When we say, I don't have, and then fill in the blank, we just took ourselves out of that perfect love.
Yes, because he's inside of us. Yahweh's inside of us with the breath. And what we say with our mouth is what we get.
Exactly. And in Colossians, it tells us that when we come into Yeshua, we come into the completeness of Yahweh himself.
Yes.
The fullness and the completeness of Yahweh himself is Colossians 1 and chapter 1 and chapter 2. Colossians chapter 1 and Colossians chapter 2 tells us that we were made complete in Yeshua.
That means everything that Yahweh is, everything that the Yah's breath is, everything that Yeshua is now in us, and we are also. Mm-hmm. So we have to know that, and we have to speak and act like that, because the words that we say are very powerful now.
Mm-hmm. And Yeshua told us himself with his own words when he told his followers to go out and do what he was doing. He said, when you go to these towns, tell them the kingdom has come, which means the realm of light has come to you.
Yeah, it didn't say, oh, at the end of time, I'll drop down and, we'll set up my kingdom here. No, it's come.
Right now.
Right now.
When Yeshua came to the earth, the kingdom came to the earth. And this is what many people miss, is we're not waiting for a realm of light to show up. The realm of light is inside you. When you put Yeshua in you, the realm of light got in you. Now you need to be the light as he is the light. Yeshua is the light. Yahweh is the light. Yahweh is the fullness of the light living on the inside of you. And you became that light.
Yeah, and the chosen followers, the apostles, didn't even realize that. And Yeshua said it to them many times.
Many times.
And they thought that he was going to set up a physical kingdom and take out the Romans. And then you would see his kingdom on this earth. But his kingdom is not over this realm. It's over us and in us. And we are the doers of his choice on this earth.
Right. That's exactly it. We are the doers of his choice. We are supposed to be walking out exactly what Yeshua would do. If Yeshua was standing here today, what would he do?
Yes, exactly.
He would do the things that he was doing when he was walking on the earth. He would just do more of them because he's in all of us.
That's right.
So being in all of us, we can do all the things that he was doing. And if we look at Mark 16, verses 15 through 20, it shows us the signs of the kingdom. What these things will follow you because you believe in me. It doesn't say you have to do something. It says they'll follow you just because you believe in me.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I want you to do this. This is what I want you to do. This is your job. Believe that I exist and I came from my Father, and go tell everybody.
That's pretty easy.
That's it. You got 2 jobs. Believe I exist and I came from the Father, and go tell everybody. That's your commission.
That's a pretty easy commission.
And then he says, and just to make sure other people know that you're telling the truth, I'm going to give you these signs. I'm going to give you these things that will happen just because you believe in me.
Wow. And those are the what people call the gifts, right?
Some people might call them gifts.
But they're actually presents, because gifts go back to sacrifice, right?
Yes. I was just thinking about the gifts words, because usually when people say the gifts, they want to go to Galatians and Ephesians, and they want to talk about the gifts of the Spirit.
Yes.
Which are love, faithfulness, gentleness, long-suffering. But what I was talking about was the miracles that come with just believing.
The force miraculous power.
Right. And so you get all those things that you're talking about, that presence of Yah's breath inside of you, because all of the gifts that people talk about are within Yah's breath. Well, if you get Yah's breath on the inside of you, you got the gift.
Yeah.
You got the present.
Yeah. Force miraculous power. And I love it because it's the force.
You got the presence of Yahweh inside of you. And then because the presence of Yahweh is inside of you, then you will cast out demons. You shall speak in new tongues. You can handle serpents and they will not hurt you. You can drink poison and it will not harm you. And you can lay hands on the sick and they will recover.
They will be delivered.
And the sick is those that are infirmed.
Mm-hmm. Those are afflicted by demons.
None of that, this is the thing, none of those 5 things say you have to actually work something up. It says you will cast out demons just because you did the first 2 things that Yeshua said. He said, believe in me and I came from the Father, and tell everybody the truth about me. So when you go proclaim Yeshua's name and the truth about him, it causes the demons to flee.
Yeah, truth will deliver you.
Yes.
Literally.
When you proclaim the name of Yeshua and what he did, it causes poison to become no different than water. When you proclaim the name of Yeshua and what he did, it causes the enemy to have to listen to you. When you proclaim the name of Yeshua and what he did, you can speak in any language. When you proclaim the name of Yeshua and what he did, you can put a hand on a shoulder and a foot will get restored. It doesn't say you even had to say anything. All it said was you had to lay hands on them. Put a hand on them and they will be restored. And that's
power.
Power.
That's force miraculous power.
And that's what verse 20 says in Mark 16. Verse 20 says, and they went about proclaiming the truth, and Yah's breath confirming the word. The life in you is confirming the word. So you gotta see the miracles.
You have to.
You have to see the miracles because Yeshua's name is the greatest name there is. There is no other name higher than the name of Yeshua. And Yah's breath was sent as the comforter to us to confirm the word.
And Yeshua is the truth. So once you have truth, you will be able to set people free.
Yes.
Because the truth will set you free.
Yes. And Yeshua is the only way into the realm of light. Yeshua is the only way to Yahweh. Yeshua is the only way to the kingdom of light. Because he said, I am the truth and the way and the light. And light and life mean the same thing. So if he's the only way, when we say, I got to learn more, I got to testify more, I've got to sow more seeds, I've got to learn more truth, I've got to go touch this many people, I got to do this, then we're saying I have to add something to what Yeshua said in order to get the results of the realm of light in my life. And that is doubt. That is where the doubt lies, is because you think that you have to come up with a new checklist, a new covenant checklist that replaces the old covenant 10 commandments and 600 plus laws that you couldn't do anyways.
So true.
And then you want to make a new list.
Yes.
And you want to say, well, I have to do this. I need a bigger anointing. I need a guy to touch me. I need to do what? Fill in the blank. I need to do something in order to get what the promises of Yeshua are in me. No, all of those are sacred cows. And I'm all stirred up and fired up today because we have more sacred cows than we even know that we have.
Yeah.
Because there are so many lies in this realm that tell us we have to do something.
Yes.
To get what you've already got.
That was the first lie in the Garden of Eden. The serpent told Eve she didn't have something she already did.
Exactly. And he said, did Yahweh really say?
It was just a little doubt, just a tiny piece of doubt.
Yes.
And that's all it took.
And that little doubt changed the story.
Yep.
So your little mustard seed of truth can change your story.
Yes, it can.
The same way the little mustard seed of doubt makes it so that you don't get anything, the little mustard seed of truth makes it so you get everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to go into life, into situations and say, no, my Yeshua said, he is the truth and the way and the life, and that's all I need to know. I need to know the name of Yeshua above every other name.
Yep.
That's it. That's all I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeshua loves me so much. He's already done everything for me, and he put all of himself on the inside of me. And anything I ask for, Yahweh will do it for me because of who Yeshua is.
That's right.
And he said in the Weiss translation, it says, because of all the estimation of who Yahweh sees me as, and it's Yeshua talking, that's why you have the fullness.
That is impressive, but what's more impressive is my wife has memorized the King James and the Weiss. I can't even understand the Weiss at times. And she just rattled that off right on the top of her head. That's incredible.
Thanks, babe.
Mm-hmm.
That's not me. That's Yah's breath. Because this is the point that your statement actually makes my point. Is because we ain't smart enough on our own to get to enough truth to figure out how to deliver ourselves.
That's true. Because I said this morning, I said, when I think I'm saying something wise or have a really smart thought, it ain't me. It's the breath. Yah's breath.
Yes. Because in and of ourselves, we can never get to enough truth. You can never learn enough. You can never declare enough. You can never proclaim enough correct words. You can never find enough ministers to lay hands on you. You can never get enough anointing to get yourself set free. The only one who delivers you out of all of tribulation, all of the pressure on the path, all of the hardships in this world, all of your stinking thinking is Yeshua. Yeah. Yeshua is the one who sets us free in this life and the next.
Yes. And when you add doubt, it cancels everything.
Yes, because a double-minded man gets nothing.
Nothing.
And we quote these scriptures all the time, but now we got to put them together. Because what this story from Bangladesh did is it showed me where my doubt was. Mm-hmm. Because I still had that religious mindset that said, I still got to do something. What is it that I got to do? So the other day when Yahweh was telling me is, you forgot how much I love you. and then tonight we got this story from Bangladesh and I went, yep, you're right. I forgot how much you love me.
That's spectacular.
That is the thing that was the doubt, is because I thought I had to do something. Yes. I thought I had to learn something else, that I didn't have enough truth. Well, how can I not have enough truth when I got the truth giver himself on the inside of me?
That was a 2-hour conversation last night. And we get an answer the next day.
Yes.
Yahweh is fabulous.
And I didn't study today.
No.
I didn't study today. I didn't do my normal thing. I didn't even listen to our own videos. I listened to other people. I was like, well, I don't understand. There's something I am not getting, and I need a good kick in the pants or something because I am not getting it. And I listened to other people, and Eric said to me, he goes, did you learn anything new? And like 4 hours later, I'm like, nope.
Nope. Not at all.
I didn't learn anything.
A lot of the Godspell, but hey.
And then we get on the phone with Bangladesh, and he tells a testimony. And I went, oh. Is our video that came out tonight
Was
the same
video that we're discussing right now. It's about doubt. So we didn't even take our own medicine.
Take our own advice. We didn't even take our own advice. And it is so funny because 2 hours before this conversation, a video of ours released that said doubt is the enemy of your mind. And then we're on this call with Bangladesh, and they're like, well, we're a whole bunch of pastors sitting in a car, and we had doubt.
We had to walk a mile because of our doubt. So just for fun, Charity and I took a lap around the neighborhood.
Yeah, no, we said we would because when he told us the story, I said, well, I'm sorry, Yeshua, for my doubt, because I was totally doubting. I thought I had to do something else. I thought I had to learn more. I thought there was some truth I didn't understand, but I'm the one who's doubting. I'm the one who's trying to add something to what you did. And just for my doubt, I'm going to take a walk too, just because these pastors had to take a walk. So I'm going to have to take a walk. That's my punishment for not believing. And it's all in good fun. It's all in good fun. But we got to get our flesh to understand that what Yeshua did was for all of us.
Yes.
It was for the completeness of you. As people say, body, soul, and spirit, right? It's the breath in you as well as your physical being. All of you's got to get on in line with Yeshua. And this is where we struggle, is because when we don't see something immediately, we think I didn't do something, or I don't know something, or I've got to do something.
Yeah, and some people actually get frustrated and they start cursing, and not so much like a bad word, cursing meaning they'll talk against their deliverance.
Right. So then our own mouth becomes our problem, is because doubt was first, and then we opened our mouth.
Yes. Yeah.
And we didn't, instead of canceling the doubt, we agreed with the doubt by coming up with some other thing. And it's just like, it reminds me of the story of when I was trying to figure out if Mark 16 was true. And could I really just lay hands on somebody and proclaim the name of Yeshua and they get restored? And when I was in Chicago, and I went and I found a bum that needed to be restored because his foot was all crippled. And I saw him, and the enemy said, but what if it doesn't work? And instead of listening to that word, I said, yeah, but what if it does?
And that's all it took.
And that's all it took. I sped up, I walked faster, and I put my hand on him, and he was terrified of me and ran away, completely restored.
Yes, on the foot that previously he was limping around on.
Exactly. So I countered doubt the right way that time, is I said, but what if it does work? And that's what we need to do every time. Every time we see something that doesn't line up with the perfection and the completeness of Yahweh's word and what Yeshua paid for, we've got to say, yeah, but what if it does work? What if this time it works? Mm-hmm. And that is actually, I just got this revelation while we're talking. That's spectacular. That is the same thing because Okay, let me back up because I'm talking faster than my brain is moving faster than I'm talking. So let me back up a little bit. Earlier today, I said to Eric, I said, I don't understand because there's contradictory information. And I should see these things coming into fullness in our physical life just like I saw these other things come into fullness in our physical life, because it's the same. Yahweh is the same. Yeshua is the same. Just because I've gotten smarter because Yah's breath revealed more truth to me doesn't change the truth that I already have.
That's true.
And I said to him, I said, and it's not about truth, because when Yahweh restored my back when I lived in Chicago, I was watching a video from some people who had partial truth, and I was still using all the wrong names. And there were a lot of things, a lot of words that I didn't understand, that I believed the God spell, and I didn't understand these things. And I was watching this video by the Happy Hunters, Charles and Francis Hunter, and they were talking about how they could grow out legs. And because usually the problem that they found was that the back was out of alignment when somebody's legs were a different length. So their back was out of alignment. So they just needed to restore the back, and then the leg would grow out. And they gave a whole little teaching on it, and it was super easy. And they said, well, have the person sit in a chair, hold their feet up, and command the foot to grow. The hips to go into right order, and the foot to grow. And they did it, and they showed it work. And I was like, I wonder if that would work. And so here's the thing. Doubt didn't come into my mind. And this is the revelation I just got while we were talking, because I couldn't understand why would that work then for me, and something I'm talking about now today not work. Because I had less truth then than I do now. And all I said is, I wonder if that would work. Because in that statement, what I said is, Yeshua, can you do that? That's really what I said was, Yeshua, can you do that in my life like you just did for them?
So you were challenging him, in other words.
Challenging him, and I didn't realize I was doing it. But I wasn't letting doubt come in. Mm-hmm. I was saying, well, you did it for that person. Can you do it for me? Mm-hmm. And look, when you do that, Yeshua has to show up. He doesn't have a choice. He's got to. Because when you proclaim the name of Yeshua, the word has to be confirmed, because he is the truth. And he has to. Just like when Peter said, if it's really you, Yeshua, then tell me to come to you. When Yeshua is walking on the water. Well, Yeshua had no choice but to say, come, because it was him.
Yep.
Because what Peter said was, if it's really you, tell me to come to you. Right? So I can walk on water with you. Yeshua couldn't say, well, Peter, you don't have enough truth to walk on water yet, because that wasn't the question. The question is if it's you, tell me to come. Mm-hmm. So because it was Yeshua had to keep him above the water, because it was him. Just like in my question, can you really do that? Is just like the story in Mark, where the man says to Yeshua, if you can do anything to help my boy, help him. For his son that was being tormented by a demon and being thrown in the fire. And Yeshua basically, like, it sounds so sarcastic to me when I read it. It sounds like, what do you mean, if I can? All things are possible for him who can believe. And the believe word is fully trust in Yeshua. And the Father says, well, help me in my unbelief. I believe you. I trust you, Yeshua, now. Help me in my unfaithfulness, my untrustworthiness. And so he's saying, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I believe you. The same kind of thing is in that situation. I sat on the floor and I watched the video, and I did the exact same thing they did. I said the same words they said, but I had to sit on the floor because there was only one of me, no person to hold my feet up. And I watched my hips straighten out and my foot grow. Wow. And I grew 1.5 inches just by the question of, well, could it really work? Because in that question, I took doubt out and I let Yeshua work. Because Yeshua said, with just a mustard seed of truth, all things are possible to you. Because all I got to have is a mustard seed of truth that Yeshua is who he said he is. And I had that. I had that in spades.
Yes. Trustworthy and truthful. That is who Yeshua is.
Trustworthy and truthful. Yes.
Yes.
And we just have to stop inserting doubt. We have to stop saying, well, I didn't see this work, so therefore I have to do something. I didn't have to do anything. I grew 1.5 inches by my back fixing itself. And I had evidence. I had drawn on the wall and everything.
Wasn't your sister kind of jealous?
My sister was jealous because we were the same height then.
That's pretty funny.
That's pretty funny. And it's never reverted. It's never changed. And my back has never hurt like it did before.
That's
like
spectacular.
Since then, I was telling Eric back then, because I didn't have enough truth, I was visiting a chiropractor like once to twice a week because my back was so messed up from when I was in war.
And she didn't have enough truth that chiropractors were invented by seances.
Nope, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. All I knew is I would go to them and they would straighten out my hips and I could walk again.
Yeah.
And then if I would sit in a car for longer than like an hour, I would be like hunched over because I was in so much pain I couldn't stand up straight. And so I sat on the floor and I said, Yeshua, can you actually do that? Well, you finally put your trust in me, so yep, I can do that too.
Yes, you can. That's amazing. I love that story.
So that's the same thing today, is when we start thinking we've got to come up with our checklist. We've got to learn everything we can learn. We've got to uncover all of the mysteries of the ages in order to get things to work in our life. Then we're putting Yeshua's sacrifice to none effect because we're making it about us. We're saying, I got to do something instead of trusting you to do it. And we need to be like the little child that says, I don't know how.
Yep.
I don't know how, mommy, help. Daddy, help. I need some training wheels for a lot longer. Because I can't do it. Right? Is we got to apologize for our doubt and say, Yeshua, help. Because I can't do it. I don't know enough. I can't know enough. I can't navigate this world on my own. You got to do it.
Yeah.
I need your help. Because that's what Yahweh really wants, is for us to be in joinder with him. Because in joinder, all things are possible. And then he says that because you loved my son, I love you. Well, look, you can't get anybody to love you better than that.
You can't.
No man has known, no eye can see the depth and the breadth and the width of the love of the Father. The scripture even tells us, as Paul says, a man might give his life for a righteous man, but who would give their life for an unrighteous man?
Yeah, it would be really hard to make that decision.
Hard. And that's what Yeshua gave us, is he said, you're all unrighteous. Not one of you is good enough. Not one of you could ever be good enough. No, not one. But you know what? I love you so much, I'm going to do it anyways.
Yeah.
I'm going to allow myself to be butchered in the most horrific way possible so that you will not have to pay the price for your sin. For the lies that you've believed, you won't have to pay that price because I'm going to pay it for you. And you're all unrighteous. And you're ungrateful too.
That's fun. Don't insult our audience, honey. But we,
That's
meaning
what he said.
these two, us two, are unrighteous.
Yes. He said it of all humanity.
Yes, and we need to be justified.
Yes, we need the justification. And he is the justification.
Yes.
He is. And that's what the point I'm trying to make, is he's the justification. And then don't insult Yeshua by trying to die every day.
Yeah.
Quit trying to die. Take what Yeshua said and die with him once. And then raise up from the grave and live unto the fullness of life. Because Romans chapter 6 through chapter 8 and Colossians 1, 2, and 3 tell you how to live. It's don't keep trying to butcher yourself every day. Don't keep trying to think you need to do something better or different or learn all this. Look, all of that garbage goes away when your eyes get focused on Yeshua. When you put your heart and your mind and your thoughts on Yeshua, you will think on these things that are above and not below.
So true.
You won't care about the bar down the street. You won't care about what you used to do. You won't care about any of those things that are incorporated within the 10 Commandments. You will be able to fulfill the 10 Commandments because you fulfill it in Yeshua.
Because you do it out of love, because you love Yahweh and Yeshua.
Yes, because it's Him working through you to do the right thing, to do the justified thing, to do the loving thing. And when you mess up, all you do is the same thing you did to get there in the first place. I'm so sorry. Forgive me for my sin. Forgive me for my lies. Forgive me for my unrighteousness. Forgive me for my doubt. Forgive me that I didn't know better. And show me the way.
Yep.
And let Him walk through you. That's what humbling yourself is putting yourself back under His authority, His power, His name, and saying, I can't do it, but you can do everything through me. You can do absolutely everything. There's not one thing that you can't do. And I don't have to know any more than your name. The name of Yeshua, the chosen one. The name that is above every other name. The name that's above your thinking. The name that's above your doubt. The name that's above your sickness and your lies and your diseases and every other thing you've tried to exalt above the name of Yahweh.
Yep.
Because let Yahweh's name be true and His word be true and everything else be a lie.
Because it is. This realm is built on lies.
And I'm not saying don't try to learn. Go learn as much as you can, but don't let your learning become your God. Don't forget that Yahweh is love. Yahweh's entire makeup is love. It is His essence. He is light and He is love and He is life. Well, look, love and light produce life. They have to go together.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've got all of Yahweh inside of you, you have life and you have light and you have love in you. And that is how you love. You're compelled into action because your love is so great, because His love is so great.
G26. It's called agape love.
Yes, that's the Strong's number in the Greek for the word love.
Mm-hmm.
And we really don't have a word that's good enough to describe this.
We don't.
Because it's like saying we have a devotional love that compels us into action because of who Yeshua is on the inside of us.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best words I've come up with yet.
Those are pretty good.
To describe it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the end of the book of John in the Weiss translation, when Yeshua is talking to Peter about how much he loves him, he says, I wanted to make sure that I give you the exact reference and the exact words because it's so perfect in the Weiss translation. It's
laughable in any other translation, like the Wee Bus. Horrible.
It just says,
The
Peter,
King
do you
James,
love me?
Terrible.
Yeah.
And they just say, do you love me? 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 It's not, do you love me in a way that compels you into action?
John 21, starting in verse 15. So in the Weiss, it's 15 through 19 are the verses. And his goal in Kenneth Weiss, his goal was to get a little closer to the translation from Greek to English because he felt like the King James wasn't good enough. And so his perspective was to use more words to help us get the meaning across better.
Yeah, and I agree. The King James is not good enough. We call it the King Junk. It's terrible. If Yeshua's walking somewhere, perfectly translated. But if it's important, terrible.
We definitely got to study more. But this is the reason why we're saying, because we've been doing this study. We've been trying to dig deep and really understand the truth of the word that's given to us, because we love Yeshua so much. We want to do everything he told us to do.
Yes.
And we want to get as much truth as we can. But here's the thing. We can't sacrifice our love for him for the sake of truth. We can't let our desire to learn the truth overwhelm his love for us, or our love for him, is because he is the truth. Ultimately, the only thing we actually have to know is Yeshua. And so look at this. Follow along with me with whatever Bible you have. Is John 21, starting in verse 15. Then, when they had breakfasted, okay, so this is Yeshua's disciples, the chosen followers that went fishing, right? Because they didn't know when Yeshua was going to show up again. He'd already risen from the dead. They knew he'd risen from the dead, and they didn't know what to do, so they went fishing, And which is like most of us, we don't know what to do, so we find something to keep ourselves occupied.
Go to work. Do what you know best.
Yes, do what you know best.
Yep.
And so then Yeshua tells them, throw your net on the side and you'll get more fish, right? And then they're coming to shore, right? So that's where we're at in the story, is they come to shore. And they ate breakfast with Yeshua. And then, okay, so that's where we're picking up in verse 15, is then when they had breakfasted, Yeshua says to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, do you have a love for me called out of your heart by my preciousness to you, a devotional love that compels you to sacrifice yourself for me? Do you consider me more precious and thus love me more than these fish? Okay.
That's pretty impressive.
That's spectacular. Mm-hmm. And fish was like money to them because they were fishermen. So they would sell the fish, and they had just brought in a load like you couldn't believe, right? Because Yeshua just gave them a whole bunch of fish, which is like giving them a whole bunch of money, right? And yes. Now he's saying, do you love me more than the fish? But the kind of love that I want to know if you have is a love for me called out of your heart by my preciousness to you, a devotional love that compels you to sacrifice yourself for me. Look, when I read that, I was like, can anybody even say yes to that question? Because
I don't know anybody that can.
We think about, because Peter says, yes, of course I love you. And he's thinking like a brotherly kind of love, right? Because his answer is, he says to him, yes, Lord, as for you, you know positively that I have an emotional fondness of you. That is
a friend kind of love.
That is what it says, an emotional fondness for you. And so Yeshua's using terminology that Peter can't even comprehend.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. How can I have that kind of love for you? Yeah. I'm telling you the best I know how. Right? And so, but when we get Yah's breath on the inside of us, we get that kind of love on the inside of us. And that's the point I want to make, is that this is the kind of love that Yeshua has for us. So this love that Yeshua is talking about to Peter is a love that Peter couldn't actually comprehend because he didn't have Yah's breath on the inside of him yet. He's thinking, yeah, you're my brother. I love you. Of course I love you. You're my brother. And Yeshua is saying, I'm giving you a love. My love for you is a love that exceeds everything you can understand. It's a love that compels you into action. This is the thing that's fascinating to me, is that it's a love that compels you to sacrifice yourself for someone else because of your fondness for him. Well, look, okay, so let me tell a super quick story. So I came home from India and Yahweh said, do you love me? And I went, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. Because I knew this verse, right? And I went, oh, I'm in trouble. And I'm like, I'll be like Peter, yes, of course I love you. And I know it's the wrong answer, so you better you might as well just
You
tell
just
me.
didn't. You just didn't quote what Yeshua said. Do you? I love you in a way that compels you into action.
I didn't because I knew I must be missing something.
Oh, you're in trouble.
Because I knew I was in trouble. I knew I was in trouble and I was missing something in this scripture, and he was going to tell me something. He was going to correct me because I wasn't doing something right when it came to love. And my name means love. So I thought, okay, I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
I know how to love. I'm pretty good at this love thing, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, after, 47 years on this planet, I've finally figured it out, right? No. Of course, so he said it again. Do you love me? And I'm like, of course I love you. And then he says, do you adore me? And I was like, well, yeah, I adore you. Of course I adore you. And then he says, do you love other people? I'm like, now I know where I'm messed up. Because I knew what was coming, because he always asks the same question twice, right? So if he's going to ask it of himself, then he's going to ask it of the other people. I said, well, I'm trying real hard to love them. That was my answer. But I think I might need a little bit of help because sometimes I don't really like them. And then he said, but do you adore people? And I went, oh, no, now I'm really in trouble. Really in trouble now. Nope, I don't adore people. Because there are times that I don't like people. So I definitely can't say I adore them if I don't like them.
That's funny.
And I went, okay, well, show me how. Because what he said to me, he said, well, if you adore me, then you have to adore them. And I said, well, show me how. Because you're easy to adore. You're easy to love because you always do good things. Other people don't always do good things.
That's true.
And then he said to me, he said, well, do you respect them? And I went, nope. Be honest. I had to be totally honest. And this was a couple of years ago, right? I had to be totally honest. I'm like, nope, because there's a lot of really dumb people. And they don't do anything worthy of respect. And then Yeshua took me through the definitions of those words. And then he said to me, he said, look, what you missed in that scripture that you love so much is within the context of what I did is I put myself on the inside of them. So all of what is me is now being represented in them. And that's what the scripture that says, in all of the estimation of who Yeshua is, Yahweh sees in you. He tied the two scriptures together for me. And he said, this is what you're missing, is when Yahweh looks at them, he sees me. He sees Yeshua in them. So you can revere them, you can respect them, you can adore them, you can love them, and you can even like them. Because when you look at them, you look at me. And this is true whether they know me or not. And I went, okay, wait, how does that one work?
Yeah, how does that work?
Because you can kind of get that when it comes to somebody who believes in Yeshua.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you get that when it comes to somebody who didn't yet believe? And he said, because my payment for the curse was for all of humanity.
Wow. Wow. That is
all of
spectacular.
humanity. So whether they know me or not, I paid the price.
So they're justified. They just have to take it.
So in my eyes, I've already done it.
Mm-hmm.
I have already put myself on them. But they haven't let me in because they haven't taken a hold of me yet. Mm-hmm. So when you look at them, you should see me on them because I paid for them too. And that blew my mind.
That is mind-blowing.
I tell you what, that blew my mind because I had to relearn how to love. I had to completely relearn how to love. I had to stop looking at people for who they're presenting themselves to me as and start looking at people as how Yahweh said they are. And you know, we've been talking about in multiple of our videos about how we have to turn our eyes around and look from Yahweh's eyes to the people instead of our eyes to Yahweh. We got to switch it. We got to flip it over. We got to look at people the way Yahweh looks at them. And oh, by the way, include yourself in that. Is look at yourself the way Yahweh looks at you. The way Yahweh looks at you is this same way, is he sees Yeshua in you. He looks at you with a devotional love that compels him to action, to sacrifice himself for you because he loves you that much, because you're precious to him. You're so precious to him, he would die all over again just for you. Thankfully, he doesn't have to, but he would if he had to.
Yes, he would.
And so every time I bring this up, because every time we put something above Yahweh's word, we make this love of none effect. We stomp in the face of this love and we say, your love, your sacrifice was not good enough for me. I have to do something else to get your love because it wasn't enough. That's hurtful.
Mm-hmm. That is.
If you said that to your parents, they would cry.
They would.
That's hurtful, because what Yeshua did was to pay the price for all of the curse. He didn't just pay the price for a person's sin. He paid the price for all of the curse. Everything that happened because Adam and Eve sinned, everything that came into play from that time forward, he paid for. And he paid for from his moment on earth all into perpetuity. There will never need to be another price paid, because we were so precious to him that he paid the ultimate price. And if you know nothing else, know this. Know the love Yeshua has for you, that he was willing to lay down his life for you, to pay that ultimate price just for you. And all you have to do is say yes. That's it. All you have to do is admit that that is true and let him live in you. Say, I need your Jesus. I need your Yeshua. That guy that you worship, I need that guy. That testimony we told about the car not starting with all the pastors in it, and the woman and the unsaved man prayed for the engine to start, and it started. Because he said, I love you that much.
Mm-hmm.
And I will show myself to you because I love you.
Yep.
And just because I love you, I will do it. That your joy may be full. Isn't that a spectacular verse? Yeshua says, I will do it so that your joy may be made full. Well, joy is cheerfulness. Well, just so you can be happy. I love you so much that I will do things for you just to make you smile. That's what that really means. And what a better way for us to worship and adore our Yahweh than by just believing Yeshua.
That's easy.
That is the best worship we can give. The best love you can give is to just believe Yeshua. And an unsaved man and a woman on the side of the street did just that.
Yep.
And Yeshua showed up and he did it for them.
Yep.
And if we could just get beyond ourselves and our own doubt and stop thinking that we need to do something, get out of works, truly get out of works, and just look at Yeshua for his preciousness to us. That hit our love for him that is called out of us because he's so precious to us, compels us into action. If we could just do that, he would show up like that. Because the name of Yeshua is the name above every other name. You got to stop doubting that he's already done it. Because he said, it is finished. In me, it is finished. You don't have to do anything.
And if you did, it would be works.
It would be works. The only thing you have to do is believe him, which means to fully trust him.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to work it up. You don't have to try. You just have to believe him. Because the breath of Yah has already been poured out on all flesh. That is the whole point of Pentecost. In the book of Acts, at the very beginning, after Yeshua has risen from the dead, and he goes to his Father, he says, just wait, I'm going to pour out my breath on all flesh. And he does. Yah's breath is poured out on the day of Pentecost on all flesh. And Peter stands up and he said, this is the fulfillment of Joel 2. What was the book of Joel? There wasn't a chapter back then, but it's Joel 2. What was described by Joel, who prophesied that there will be a day that comes that Yah's breath will be poured out on all flesh. And it says flesh, everything that is breathing. It doesn't say animals versus people. It says all flesh. His breath poured out on all flesh. And
that's pretty spectacular.
Right?
Makes you wonder about the nefariousness of AI, because AI wants to be in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Animals, people, plants, whatever.
And AI is not flesh.
No, it's not.
And I'm not saying that animals have Yah's breath inside of them, as in the essence and the presence. In the King James Version of the Bible, it says Holy Spirit is poured out on all flesh. But those words go back to Yah's breath. So we think that there's a spirit of Yahweh that's poured out, is the way the context gives it from the King James. And then there's a breath that's blown into all living things to make them alive, to make them a live being. So whether that's a person or an animal, they have a breath inside them that makes them alive. Well, here's the thing that I'm trying to make the distinction between is both words go back to the same root, is Yah's breath. Well, the entirety of this realm runs on Yah's breath. Yah's breath is the life that flows through this entire kingdom. So this realm can't exist without Yah's breath. I'm not trying to say that I think that the scripture says that the animals have the same kind of breath in them as we as humans have in us for what you would think of as the spirit of man that connects to Yah. That's not what I'm trying to say. Because we know that we were made in the likeness of Yahweh. Animals were not made in the likeness of Yahweh. So we have Yah's likeness inside of us. We have the image of him. We have the fullness of who he is on the inside of us, with Yeshua and Yah's breath moving into us. Mm-hmm. And that is what gives us the ability to move on into perpetuity, is to be able to stay into perpetuity, is because we have Yah himself in us. Yahweh himself, themself, or however you want to say it. But it's all in Colossians, it says the fullness of the Godhead bodily inside you. Well, that means Yah, Yahweh, Yeshua, Yah's breath, all together. And it's not some disembodied spirit. It's the very essence of Yahweh. And Yahweh is love, and Yahweh is light. Well, love and light produce life. So when the breath is poured out on all flesh, it's returned us to this position of joinder with Yahweh. Mm-hmm. And the only way that you get to take it in and keep it is Yeshua. That is the only way, because Yeshua says, I am the truth and the way and the life. So, and no one gets to the Father except through me. So all we have to do is find Yeshua.
Yeah. It says in the Strongs, fully trust. Entrust. Fully trust.
And when you find Yeshua and you fully entrust your life to Yeshua, you get the fullness of Yahweh in you. Mm-hmm. And you actually become in joinder with Yahweh, making you in perfect alignment with Yahweh.
Yeah.
And I know that that sounds crazy. It sounds like it contradicts so many things. But if we would look a little bit deeper, if we would really look into what Yeshua is saying, and we would put the depth of the words together, you would find out that I'm actually right. Because the more we study, the more we look into the Strongs, the more we put the scriptures together in the New Testament, the more we know that Yahweh said, I wanted you from the beginning. I love you from the beginning. I love you so much. You're the only thing I think about. And you want to know what my purpose was? My purpose was to make you out of my love for you because you are so precious to me. I want you with me always. And so love created you. Love created you to be in perfect joinder with him. That you would never be separate from Yahweh ever again. That you were made to be part of Yahweh, to be a container, a palace, a house for Yahweh. Your whole entire purpose in life is to be in joinder with Yahweh. And when you stop caring about all the other things and you let yourself be in joinder with Yahweh, you become just like him. It doesn't take you above him. It makes you right in line with him. And in that place, he can work through you. And he can do all those things because you fully trust him to do it through you, because you realize it's his power that flows out of you and through you and makes it to be.
That's right. He said, as I am, so are you on this earth.
Yes. On this earth, on this firm earth, not above him, with him.
Yep.
With him in joinder. And I would challenge all of you to go back and look at John 17 and the prayer that Yeshua is saying before he's crucified, before he's impaled. Go read that again and look at the depth of the joinder that Yeshua is saying, whatever translation you read it in. I feel like it comes through, if you really want to know, it comes through, Yah's breath will reveal it to you, no matter what translation you read it in, is Yeshua is saying, Father, I don't pray for them to be taken out of this world. I pray that they would know the oneness with you that I had with you before the commencement of this, that before the beginning of this world or the commencement of this orderly arrangement, that they would know that joinder I have with you. Well, that joinder that Yeshua had with Yahweh was a joinder of oneness. A oneness that is perfectly meshed together where there is no separation. That's what he's praying for us to understand, is that we got put into that same place. That's spectacular.
That is spectacular.
That's spectacular. So we'll leave it there. And we thank you for watching. And this will go along with our Light Realm series. And it's a testimonies at the same time, multiple testimonies now. And we have many more testimonies to share. But we just thank you for everything that you're doing and all the work that you're doing.
Yep.
And no matter where you are in the world, whoever you're preaching to, whoever you're proclaiming the word of Yahweh to, whoever you're proclaiming the word of Yeshua to, keep doing it. Just show him how much you love him. Because you love him, you're compelled into action.
So,
And because he loves you, he's compelled into action to confirm the word.
So that's it for now. So thank you for running to the safety of truth with us, and we'll talk to you next time.
We'll see you next time. Shalom.